Hello, happy Monday. Welcome back to the Momentum Podcast. We're so thrilled that you choose to be with us again this week to develop yourself, invest in yourself as we ask, what is the potential? What is the momentum you can build into your own life? This week we have with us Ana Sofia, directo de Costa Rica. No, más o menos.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.
Definitely.
So, Ana, thank you so much for taking time here to meet with us today. To meet with me today on the podcast. Ana is the vice president at a Fortune 100 bank. So incredible position, very influential. And today I want to talk about the title of today's episode, right? The master's degree worked.
The master's degree did work, and thank goodness for that. And first of all, Nathan, thank you for having me. This we're going to have a blast.
I know. Super fun. The master's degree worked. We... in our first conversations, asking you about your trajectory, and I think as a Latino who stepped into a very influential position and a high income role, the master's degree worked. It's easy for particular communities that are underrepresented to say, well, I don't know if I really want to invest in myself that way. Do I belong there? Do I belong in the classroom? And then secondly, in a role that would actually make the investment worth it.
Right.
So let's start talking about that. The master's degree worked, or first, did it work, or how?
Oh my God, did it ever work? Not only did it work on the financial side, but on the personal side, it's done amazing things for me. It's opened doors that I never even knew were there. And so anybody who asks me, is this something I need to do? That if you want to better yourself, you can't stop learning.
When you made the decision to go back to school, and you had some years of career experience then at that point, right?
I did. I had been with the bank probably 10 or 12 years by then.
You made the decision to go to the bank. You saw, hey, I want to move up. Did you question? Did you ever say oh wait, imposter syndrome? Was that ever a part of it in going back?
Not in going back to school. I did kind of question whether I should move on within the bank, and not only did I question, but my leadership questioned a little too.
If you belonged at the bank,
well, moving up without furthering the education. Yeah, so that was.
So it was a boundary. Actually,
absolutely, it was a boundary.
In the perception of others that without a master's degree.
Well, and at that point in time, in 2006 or 7, when I believe I went back, I hadn't finished my bachelor's.
Wow.
So I had decided, I'd started.
So you had moved up in the bank.
Mm-hmm. I'd started working, and then I got married and had kids, and then didn't finish. And so when I went to the bank and really decided that I wanted to start moving up, that's when they said, well, you really need to invest in your education. And
then you saw a pretty big difference then.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
Oh my God. Once I and took the time, and it took a while. I had some personal things in between happen. But once I finished the education, and it was an amazing journey. The doors opened pretty quickly. I graduated, and not more than 6 months later was I offered another position. And at that point in time, I was actually able to tell them, hey, you know what? I've come this far.
Yeah.
You want me to take that job? I want a title too.
Good.
And so it kind of gave me the little swagger that you need to kind of ask for more. Because I realized that I could do it. I mean, if I could put in all those hours and those sleepless nights and all this studying.
Esta chingona.
¿Verdad? Don't, it was, era muy difícil.
Claro.
But, so worth it. So then you develop the swagger and the confidence, right? So there was a new confidence factor within me that came out.
Upon graduation, your identity shifted.
Absolutely. Oh my God, did it ever. No longer was it, and a lot of things changed. My posture changed.
Like physical posture.
Totally. You know how you walk?
Yes.
How I saw myself really changed. Because I knew that I could do it. And not only did I do it, but I did it well. Because if I was going to do this, I wasn't just going to do it halfway. It was going to be all or nothing. And I graduated with distinction, 4.0.
Oh my goodness.
And I was really proud of myself for the first time. I was that proud of myself.
That it changed your identity. Let's talk about the before after identity. What are descriptions of like self identity before after?
Well, before I was I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a banker, but I was more of an office associate. So
like identity and I'm a teller girl.
Right.
Versus I am a business professional.
Absolutely. In the office and in my world, we had this thing about being a support associate. So you were an associate, you helped out.
Yeah.
You were never the quarterback or you were never the star. And so not many people make the leap from associate to front line or move up the ranks in that way. By the time you become an associate, you've invested time and you're not really going to go back and invest in the career, in the education. And so you're stuck there. Yeah. And I refused to be stuck there. Yeah, it was, and the only way I could do it was to, number one, get the bachelor's, and number two, just go right into the master's. I didn't take any time off. I just went.
You did,
boom.
right?
Nope. I just went right in.
You have the energy going. Let's keep moving.
Let's keep moving. Yes.
And so in directing a grad program, I tell many of our students that you can double your income with this. Is that something, do you think that's accurate or?
I doubled the income very quickly. I've since then passed triple the income.
Hear that, people? You got triple the income through education.
Through education. And it's only because of that. Now, the education opened the door.
Yes. And it was you who did it, but education took off the ceiling.
Right. And so I was able to bust through that glass ceiling because of my education.
Yeah.
But the education was the tool. It changed me. It changed. I was a support associate that was there 5 years before didn't exist anymore.
Imagine you even dressed differently when you went in the office. Then
Absolutely.
Too. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, it is total business attire.
Yeah.
And it changed the way I spoke with people. It changed how I interacted with people. As an associate, I would have never gone to a Chamber of Commerce meeting and put myself out there and network and join a nonprofit board or a city board. I would have never done that.
So you're involved in the Chamber of Commerce and our Riverside Area Chamber of Commerce. For those of you listening out of state, the Inland Empire Riverside has 4 to 5 million people.
Right. Well,
and
the Riverside has about 2.5 million. San Bernardino has another 2. So we're at about 4.5 million in the Inland Empire altogether. The Greater Riverside Chambers of Commerce, I am the biggest fan for the Chamber of Commerce. Yes. It opens so many doors for so many people. We are the advocate for the business owners here in the city of Riverside.
Yeah.
The chamber has over 1,300 members, and it's our job to drive the local economy.
Yeah.
And in today's world, we're even more important now than ever before.
Right.
With this pandemic, and we're doing so much, and we're doing it virtually.
Yeah. And for me, I've benefited greatly through Momentum, the business, through the chamber.
Absolutely.
Provided a ton of resources.
And not just the resources with regards to programs and access, but the people that you meet are really stellar and help to move us along.
Let's talk about people then. So you said people, kind of who you associate with in maybe who you have access to, right? To connect to similar-minded, similar-hearted people through both education and the chamber.
Oh, absolutely.
What does that transformation look like for you?
I don't ever want to say I was an introvert, but prior, in my prior life, let's put it that way, I would go home. I was a band mom. So I kind of helped a little bit out
like
with the
band.
Yes, yeah. my daughter is very big into...
I played the trombone in a marching band in high school.
She does the pageantry, so she does the color guard portion.
Awesome.
And that was pretty much it. I did work, I took care of my kids, and didn't have too many more aspirations than that. Today... my kids are older, obviously, but and she's still in marching band. She does it semi-professionally now. But I was able to I took a drum corps from an idea to an open class drum corps simply with the knowledge that came and the access to resources and tools and people.
Wow.
And then with the chamber, all the people that you meet, directors at universities and colleges and business leaders and politicians, and it's really no education. You stagnate, and I really believe that.
So in seeking to empower specifically other Latinas,
yes,
who have a similar path as you, right? Maybe born in another nation, from a culture that they see as not the majority.
Yeah.
Or what advice do you have?
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
First of all, you got to believe that you can do it. There's no room for doubt. I always say, and I say it to myself all the time before I walk into a new client's office, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And so I would say that before I'd start a final, before I started writing a paper, whatever it is, fake it till you make it, because I'm going to do this. So believe in yourself, even if you don't. Fake it.
And it worked.
And it works.
And then pretty soon you start believing that you're capable of those sorts of things.
You do. The first step is the toughest step. It's the hardest step. But once you get motion going, right? A body in motion stays in motion.
Yeah.
So once you get that going, it gets easier each time.
Did you ever want to give up in the process?
No, I
Really?
refuse to give up. I refuse to give up. In the process of going back to school in my education, my oldest daughter had a really bad car accident, and she had traumatic brain injury. And I was in the middle. I was in the middle of a Algebra 2 trade class, and I had one more test to take my final. And up until then, I had all A's. I wasn't going to take anything less. And she was in the ICU, and the dean called me and said, "Hey Anna, we have two options for you. We can extend your class a few weeks, or you can take a B." So I said, "I'll take the B." And then I took some time off of school, knowing that I needed to help my daughter. She was in a coma for about 9 months, so I needed to get her.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
6 months down the road, something like that, I went right back in. That was my B with a blessing. It was the only B I got.
And you were thankful for it.
I was thankful for that B.
Because then you could be present with your daughter. Oh,
right. But don't give up. You just don't give up.
That's what I see with different students of mine who are moms or non-traditional, or even from a background there's not many resources.
Well, and here, these moms, you go to work.
Yeah.
You come home and make dinner.
Yeah.
You help the kids with homework, and you do their sports, and then you sit down.
I don't know
study.
I have multiple moms with kids and as teenagers who have gone through our grad program. I honestly don't know how they do it, but they do it, and they get promotions.
Absolutely. And at the time I had a family that was very supportive. My little one was very supportive, and my husband was very supportive. And so you need, you believe in you, but you need your family to believe in you too.
Did you elicit the support then of your family and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about this. Would you support me? Or I might not be as available during this next 2 years." Are you open to that?
Absolutely. So, and not only did I seek the advice of my husband and talk to my little girls at the time about it, but a family member who had also been actually the first of our generation to go to college and get his master's, and now he has his PhD. But so I sought his advice as well, and because I wanted to make sure that if this was a journey I was going to undertake, that I understood what the price would be.
And so you found realistic expectations in a family member that had gone to further education, counted the cost realistically, included your family in the conversation. Hey, it's going to be hard.
Right.
Is this chill? Is this cool?
Right. And they cheered me on every step of the way. I found my little one who was, 9 and 10 at the time saying, "Mommy, did you get an A? Did you get an A?"
No way.
Because when I had to go back through an online program because I had to do I spent a lot of time in the hospital with my oldest. So I would carry my laptop everywhere and we would do things online. And so lots of times I would, okay, house, you guys got to be quiet. You know, I'm going to take a test. And they would take the test with me by being quiet or not knocking on my door and knowing that I needed just 2 hours to be able to do this. And so they were along the journey every single step.
And it sounds like, I think of different parents with kids like, hey, don't knock on the door. Daddy's working on the computer. A lot of my friends have a hard time with that. But there's no end time stamp with you. You had an end time stamp. Hey, it's school. It's like for 2 years.
Right.
Don't knock on my door.
Don't knock on my door. And they were really, and then we celebrated. We celebrated all the stepping stones. Okay, this class, we did it. And it was always a we. And so that made the journey a lot more fun.
What a beautiful collective expression. I find that so for many of my Latin students that their degree is their family's degree.
Absolutely. And when graduation came, my youngest was now a teenager. And she blinged out my cap, and I thought, oh, God.
You're like, I don't know if I can wear this in public.
I don't know. But you know what? She took the time to bling it out, so I wore it. I'm going to strut with this thing on.
I need to see a picture of this.
I think I have one on my phone.
Rockstar mom.
But, so it was a family journey. And although she didn't choose the path of education yet.
Yeah. I hope we got a snort from Gypsy in the background.
Gypsy's napping. She's not too into this. But it's made the whole difference. And if I can tell any Latina, any woman out there, whether she's Latina or Asian or African American or Caucasian, believe in yourself and just do it. Don't let anyone hold you back. Especially you.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes we're our own worst enemy.
So the advice to various women, right, is believe in yourself. What's your advice for the support group?
That, give your loved one time. And really that is the gift that you can give them. Load the dishwasher, make the dinner for her every now and then. Fold the clothes in the laundry. Let her know that way that you care. Because that was really helpful for me. My husband picked up a lot of the slack with that. And that showed me that he was invested too. And it allowed me time.
So then you could sleep a little bit.
I could sleep a little bit or, study a little bit more or whatever it was. Because it really is a whole family journey. I
appreciate that because an easy decision, I think, in more individualistic cultures, right? So, my family's a European in background. In individualistic cultures, we say, more likely to say, I'm doing this. And you just announce it to your family. And then whether they're in or not, it's not as big of a deal. But in collective cultures, you invite your family into the decision. Hey, I'm thinking about this. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. And then we celebrate the journey along the way.
Una cultura de fiestas.
Siempre. That's why the saying in Costa Rica is pura vida, pure life. And that's how we live everything. And we celebrate the education today.
Yeah. Still today, have parties that mom got her master's degree.
We're able to celebrate in different ways because without that master's degree, I wouldn't be able to send my daughter to Indy every year to compete. Her sport is a $10,000 a year sport.
Wow.
I wouldn't be able to do that if I were still an associate.
And then, so rather than saying an entitlement of now I have a high income that I can afford to bless my kids in ways that wouldn't be possible.
Right.
It's a continuous celebration that,
absolutely,
look at what is happening. This is unbelievable.
Absolutely. And so it's open doors, not only for me, but for my kids, right? They can do things that other kids, can't.
Which is so exciting then that they sacrificed with you and now they're celebrating and reaping the benefit with you.
Oh, absolutely. And, pretty soon she'll be out on her own and hopefully she decides to go back and complete her education. And I talk about that with her. And sometimes teenagers or young adults, they have to learn for themselves. I know I did.
Yeah.
because I didn't listen to my parents at the very beginning. Had I done that, I'd probably be 10 years
further in your career,
further into my career and doing other things. But, we have to listen to, we do things at our own pace.
That's an incredible example for your daughter then. And also encouraging too that, okay, I didn't make the perfect decisions maybe for the first 10 years of my career. Right. And I'm still killing it.
And I'm still killing it. And I'm having a good time doing it.
Yeah.
I am thrilled that I landed in Riverside. I grew up in Alhambra, but I don't know that I'd be having the same amount of fun in Alhambra that I'm having in Riverside.
Talk to me about that. What's fun?
Oh my gosh. Well, the people are amazing. Mm-hmm. So, Riversiders really know how to do things. We're known for our Festival of Lights, and that is an amazing time of the year. Mm-hmm. We have an amazing city with so many things to do. Yeah. We have, citrus. We have a citrus heritage, and that's fascinating. We've got all kinds of businesses. What other city do you know that has 4 universities, right?
I can't name one.
Yeah, people don't realize we're a college town.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. So I love to see the level of education here. We bring new business. We are the city of arts and innovation.
That's right.
All right. And we have the California Air Resources Board is coming, and they're building out by UCR is coming along amazingly. And we're going to celebrate that next year.
Yeah.
We're going to bring a lot more higher earners to the city, simply because we have the type of industry that we're bringing in.
Right.
So we're a fantastic place to live. We got to be proud of that.
I like that. I appreciate that, Anna, that this empowerment for yourself, but then real empowerment doesn't just stay at oneself.
No, it doesn't.
It overflows, and it's overflowed to your family first.
Right.
And then keeps overflowing. It's not like the river didn't stop.
No, it keeps overflowing. And I don't think it would have I don't think I'd be so full of joy had I stayed where I was.
Yeah.
Riverside would be an okay place to live.
Yeah.
But the education opened the doors. The masters, that investment, kept me going.
That seems 80% of people in America don't like their work. And I think about that regularly. And then when I meet people like you, that it's obvious, okay, she doesn't fit into that majority. No. She enjoys what she's doing. I think some of your path too is you found a job description and a level of leadership that matched your potential.
Absolutely. Today, my job is a little different, and I'm having a hard time with it, to be completely honest, because I'm sitting in front of a computer.
Yeah.
I'm still talking to people.
Yeah.
But it's a different level of experience. I need to be out there talking, meeting people, shaking hands, putting people together, making things happen. And that's where I really find joy and where I really soar.
I want to hear more about that.
Uh-huh.
Let's keep that for next week.
Okay.
And flourishing virtually. You're in an executive leadership role.
Right.
Meeting online, meeting on Zoom like many of us, many hours a day.
Yes.
Adam Grant said, Zoom violates the third law of thermodynamics, that what you put in is not what you get out. You pour all this energy into the Zoom screen, it does not give it back to you.
No, it does not. And we are actually having a bit of a training tomorrow on that, because that's a challenge virtually that some of us are having a difficult time overcoming. When you meet somebody face to face, you see their body language. You see the look on their face, the smile, whatever, the eyes. You can see that a lot of times, even on Zoom meetings or WebEx, whatever you don't get that same feeling. So you don't know how effective you really are.
Exactly. I think that deserves a whole episode. So Anna Sofia, this week, the master's degree worked.
Yes, the master's degree worked. And
tripled your income, moved you into personal leadership and regional influence.
Absolutely. And I'm really happy there. Because I'm able to take that back and help my clients. I tell my clients, I'm not just your banker. Mm-hmm. I am your Riverside resource. And I wouldn't be that Riverside resource if I hadn't invested in the education, the higher education, gotten the master's, and turned on the swag that it turned on.
Turning on the swag with
Yeah,
Anna Sofia.
absolutely.
You heard it here first. So this is the Momentum Podcast, Dr. Nathan Iverson, and master's degree holder, vice president of Fortune 500, Fortune 50 bank. Thank you for joining us. Next week, how do we handle this virtual reality? How do we handle this Zoom phenomenon that drains the energy from us when we're on Zoom all day?
It does.
Or WebEx or whatever the platform is. We need to talk about that.
We will. I'm going to take a nice week vacation, and then I'll be back at you.
Awesome. Tune in next week.
Bye. Thank you so much.